Welcome back to Let's Draw Digital, the show where I teach you how to create digital illustrations. I'm your host, Joe Cadena, and this is episode 3, Reference. In this episode, we talk about what is a reference, importing your own art, finding reference, creating your own reference, tracing and learning, and we're going to talk about some common shortcut keys. References are photographs, models, paintings, illustrations, anything you can refer to. Drawing from a reference, especially those based in real life, can help you better understand how people, places, and things are structured, thus making it easier for you to add your own flair. There's a difference between referencing and copying. If you're taking an image drawn by someone else and changing the color and calling it your original character,
that's no good.
When referencing, you want to take elements and structure to make it your own piece. You should create a style that, while taking elements from artists you like, should be your own thing. Here's the purest form of reference, your own. Scan or take a picture of a drawing you've done. Here's a picture from my sketchbook I took with my phone. I'm just going to use the lasso tool, which is a subtool of the selection or marquee tool depending on what program you're using. And then to copy that selection, I press Ctrl-C. Side note, I'm using Windows here, so if I say Control, 99.9% of the time that's going to be replaced with the Command key on Mac. So Ctrl-C equals Command-C. Then go to your canvas and press Ctrl-V to paste the selection. Pressing Ctrl-T will let you scale the image to fit your canvas. Depending on your setting, you can hold Shift while scaling to lock the proportions. Now that your drawing is ready, you can lower the opacity, create a new layer above it, and start inking. With that complete, we can start coloring from reference. Since this is a chocolate-covered strawberry, I'm going to grab an image off the internet of a chocolate-covered strawberry. First, we'll make a mask like we did in the last episode. Press I for the eyedropper tool, which will let you select a color from that image. Go back to your canvas, press B to get back to your brush, and start coloring. The eyedropper tool selects by the pixel, so keep an eye on what color you're choosing. Try going back and forth, so you can select different tones of the same color to add more depth. Use Google, or Bing if you're into that. Use real life if you can get out there, or you got a phone, you got a digital camera of some sort, you got a friend or someone who can hold the camera for you, maybe a tripod, great. You can shoot your own references. If there's an image or pose that you can't find on the internet, go make your own. Here's an image I shot a while ago because I was drawing a comic and I couldn't find a good reference photo for this pose. This is also very helpful for perspective if you want a dynamic pose and aren't sure how the body or scene will look from a certain angle. If you need a good cityscape, try Google Earth. Find a city, enter the 3D mode. It's a rough shot, but it's a great starting point for a dynamic drawing. You could also go into a street view for a lower level shot. Just screen grab or use whatever tool to get your shot and paste it into your canvas. Drawing is hard sometimes. Bodies, buildings, balloons are hard. Things with specific structure are hard to draw unless you learn how to break them down. It may seem like cheating, but tracing is a great way to learn how to break things into shapes. Take this dude here. You see how this guy, I'm going to call him Devin, breaks down into shapes. We ignore the details and use lines and circles to show where the bones lay, and then use cylinders and oblong shapes for the muscles until we get a general idea how Devin breaks down. At this point, you have a structure to work from, and create something that's totally your own. This works with anything. Reference is there to give you a starting point, and at some point you won't even need to trace because you'll have the structure down pat, and it'll be second nature. Hopefully I can get to that point someday. Here's a shortcut recap. Here's some shortcuts that are good to know, some of which I already covered. Spacebar. Holding the spacebar while moving your pen will move you around the canvas if you're zoomed in. M. It's the selection or marquee tool, and it lets you select an area of a layer. Control-D. Deselect. This will deselect your selection. Control-Shift-I. Invert your selection. Control-I. Inverts colors. W. The magic wand tool. It selects all of the colors that you clicked on depending on the threshold you set. Eyedropper tool. Eyedropper tool grabs the colors. B. Brush. Control-C. Copy. Control V, paste. Control X, cut. This will copy and delete your selection. Control T, transform. T, text tool. Control plus, zoom in. Control minus, zoom out. Control 0, zoom to fit screen. Control 1, zoom to 100% of the image. Control Z, undo. Control Y, redo. Control S, save. There are several more, some that vary depending on the program, but those are the most important ones I could think of. You can always make custom shortcuts, so these can change at any time you want. Anyway, here's a drawing. Thanks for watching. Come back next time for episode 4. I'm going to talk about color and break down what we learned so far. See you next time.